Ciao Juventino of the world, welcome back on the channel. My name is Giuseppe for the people that just joined for the first time. I was testing if the sound was working. I'm hearing it from my phone. Of the world, welcome back on the channel. My name is Giuseppe for the people that and I was also hearing it on my computer, so everything is working. That's fine. I'm happy because if we would start without sound, that would be terrible because I know you watch my videos every day, but my face is not that beautiful. So I'm super happy because today for the live, I'm not alone. I'm with a dear friend, Gareth. Gareth is from Tactical Role, and he joined me for something special. He joined me because we want to talk about one person, and that person, I will put it here in the left bottom corner, is called Arthur. So that's what we will do today together with Gareth. We will talk about Arthur. So the people that are watching already, if you want to know what we will say, where does he play? Is he a player for Juventus? Yes or no? Did we made a good choice to sign him? Yes or no? What are his skills? What are his weaknesses? That's what we will all do. But you know me. First, before talking about Arthur, I want to speak about my guest. So the first question I have for my guest, because now it's time for him to speak, is how do I call you? Tactical Role, TR, Gareth? What do you prefer?
You can just call me Gareth, bro. Gareth works.
Gareth is fine. Gareth, some people know you, some people not. Where are you living?
So I'm in Australia at the moment, man, on the Gold Coast. So it's currently 4:02 in the morning where I am.
That's crazy. You know, the passion of Juventus people and football fan in general is crazy. It's crazy. Also, in the chat, we have people from all over the world. Before continuing, let's say hello to the people that are here already. We have Nilesh, dear friend. Hello. We have Nicolas, who's saying that he's super excited. Soul Mortal, first time in the live chat. Welcome. UVFC, first time in the live chat also. Ciao. I love football, that has his birthday a few days ago. Ermias, if I'm not wrong, from Nigeria. We have, let's say, Martina from Juve Designer. She's my partner on the Juve show. Ciao, Martina. Marco Sufyan, always there, a loyal one. We have Rad. We have Abdul Ghani. You see, I try to work on my pronunciation. Helen, Gareth, the man, the myth, the legend. So Helen is someone you know, Gareth?
Maybe. I don't know, bro. I've got too many people following. I don't know everyone.
And then I will put some pressure on you because we have Emmy Scouting. Emmy Scouting, I don't know if you heard about him, but he's someone really great about tactics, techniques. He's also giving online courses to understand football and to be, scout. So guys, if you never heard about Emmy Scouting, go on his YouTube. Great guy who understands football like no other. Speaking Spanish, speaking Italian. So go for it. We have Bruno. Bruno is one of the followers on Twitter. Good friend of me, Animesh. We have Renz from Japan. Ciao, Renz. So we have a lot of people. More and more. Thank you for being here, guys. Omar also that just joined the Bamako, the country of Sissoko. Mohamed Sissoko. So that's fine. We say hello to the people and we have more that jump in and we'll say again. So explain me, Gareth, what is Tactical Role exactly?
So basically around a year ago, man, I was just just made a page where I could just talk about football, sport that I've liked since pretty much I can remember. So usually I talk all day with my friends about football anyway, so why not make a Twitter account and just tweet about stuff that interests me? And fortunately, people seem to like my tweets, and I built a bit of a following, and now it's good fun. Like, you just go on Twitter and talk about a sport that you enjoy. It's great.
I love it. It's a big community already. I think you are about 14,000 or something like that.
It was crazy, man. When I first made it, it was crazy. I started posting those threads. Within like a week, I already had a couple of thousand people following, and it was crazy, bro.
But that's how I discovered you, because we went in contact, and thank you again for accepting the invite, because we were talking so many days, to be honest, 62 days, because I saw the news on Mundo Deportivo, Barcelona sport paper, the first time 62 days ago about Arthur, and I started to deep dive and trying to report what they were saying every day in, day out. People were saying to me, no, he doesn't want to go to Juventus. I said, pay attention. He never said no. He said he preferred to stay at Barcelona. Day in, day out. And yesterday, the big news, breaking news. And when typing in the search bar, Arthur, I found your thread on Twitter. A really good thread on Twitter where you're explaining actually this everything what we will discuss actually today. And that's where I contact you, and you said hello. And Michael is saying my Inter Merda shirt. I love that. I love that T-shirt. So yeah, that's for the special occasions. Tell me, where and how did because you're younger than me, and people today, they love instant thing, they love calcio champagne, they love to see the shows. Sometimes we don't really see the tactics of the things. How did it born in you, that fire for tactics?
So pretty much just like growing up, man, in my family, like pretty much like a lot of my relatives either played football and then coached it like later on after they finished playing. Like I have quite a few family members who even played professionally in like German leagues and all that. So yeah, I've just always been around it, and just the whole tactical side always interested me. I wanted to like understand the game and why some teams were better and why some teams weren't. And yeah, that's just pretty much how it started, man. So I've just been following that stuff for probably like I've been into like tactical football in probably like 7-8 years now. So yeah, not too bad.
Tell me, normally it was a question I wanted to ask you, but I see that you have a really beautiful 18-19 Juventus shirt. Is it because you are on the show, or is it because you are a Juventus fan?
Bro, I was going to wear this one, but then I thought it wouldn't be as popular. I have this one here as well.
Some people love it, some people hate it. What's your opinion? Because you bought it. I have it also in my magic box here. I have a box with, wait, I have all of them here. I have it also this one. So I have every shirt here. But do you love it?
Bro, honestly, one-off thing for one season, good. I don't mind it, but never again. Never again. I want the stripes.
I want the stripes also. And good news, they are saying that the stripes are back. So,
have you seen the leaked kit with the gold and the black stripes?
Yeah. Do you like it?
I don't mind it. I'd give it like 7 out of 10. It's okay.
It's good. Garrett, just a last question about you. Let's do 2 questions about you, and then we go to Arthur because people are waiting. We have Juventus Lecce after, so I don't want people to wait too much. First question. You live in Australia. You tell me it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Juventus will play in a few hours, so it will be 6 o'clock in the morning. How do you do? How do you live Juventus when you live in Australia?
So pretty much I'm really fortunate that I'm self-employed and work on sort of my schedule, so that allows me to stay up if I want to for the games. So I can wake up a bit later if there's a game on at 4 or 5 in the morning. Or sometimes when I do have to wake up early, the games usually, the latest they start is about 5, 6 in the morning. So in those cases, I'll just set an alarm, wake up, watch the game, and then go on with my day. If we win, my day is good. If we lose, don't talk to me for the rest of the day. But you know how it is.
I know how it is. I have put also the @ from Twitter from Tactical World. So if you go on Twitter, you can follow him there. And then the last question before the Arthur topic is, I saw a picture of you in the Juventus stadium. Tell me, how does it feel to enter that stadium?
Bro, it's so cool. So I was fortunate to spend 3 months in Italy for business in late 2018. So, and into 2019 as well. So, yeah, man, I went to pretty much most of the home games when I was there, and it was crazy. Like, the atmosphere, the fans, it's crazy. And, probably the highlight of that was going to Juve versus Atleti when we came back and Ronaldo scored that hat-trick. That was crazy, man.
I can imagine. I think from the last years, that's probably the most beautiful game to be there, live. That's
It
amazing,
was
and
it
especially
was
when you live
crazy.
in Australia and you have the chance to see that game. That's luck. Really happy.
Yeah, man.
So, enough talking about you. Enough talking about me. Let's talk about the guy here. Wait, I always have problems. So the guy here, yeah, Arthur. So my questions, and I will start. Because I believe we can now consider him a Juventus player. Not 100% because you never know what happened in life, but we can say that, and I will show a picture. Let me open that picture because I think it's too beautiful to hide. So we have to open that one. And I'm sorry, guys, if you're watching, if this one was not prepared. All the other pictures are prepared, so you will not have to wait. But this one, I have to search, and I found it now. So let me open it again. Here we are. Yes, I think it's too beautiful to not show. Can we can say that Arthur is virtually a Juventus player. That's right. Okay. So speaking about that, um, I saw really a lot of questions and diverse opinions. I saw people who were saying, "Yeah, but he's really good. I'm really happy that we signed him because he's a top player. I love him, and he will make the difference. Juventus did a really beautiful deal." Then we have the other part who is really saying, "No, shit player. We don't like him. If Barcelona give him away, it means that there is a problem. He's injury prone." You have really in the Juventus fan base, you have a real big split, and that's the first thing. Then when you go and you see at the Barcelona fan reaction, you really all see they are saying like, you know why are we giving them, we don't want them to, there was the famous hashtag Arthur stays everywhere on the place. So before going into detail, how would you describe Arthur in a few words?
In a few words, I'd say a very silky midfielder, like a lot of class to him. Very technically gifted, very good on the ball, very aesthetically pleasing to watch. In a way, he's almost a typical Brazilian. He has that flair, he has that creativity, that movement. He can break a game open. He's exciting. That's the word. He's exciting.
So let's speak about him at his Barcelona time. Okay, I want to show you a heat map that actually you did, so thank you for the work. That means that I don't have to do it. uh, Wait, let's make sure that we see also our faces. So that's the heat map, and you know in 1920 season in Barca, he played 27 games. He started 17 of them, has an average of 53 passes per game, and that's 91% of success. Average of 2.3 long balls per game and zero point 0.6 key passes per match. And he already did this season 4 assists. Are those good stats for a Barcelona midfielder?
Considering, see, people will go Barcelona midfielder and think Iniesta or think Xavi or whatever, but the Barcelona we saw this season is not a Barcelona team we've sort of seen before. Valverde, he didn't play that typical Barcelona way. That's why he was sacked in the end. So while Valverde was manager, Arthur was he was still performing at a good level, but he wasn't himself because he was very limited with that system. It was a very structured system, but it basically just took away all his best assets, that creativity and that get the ball and use his vision to play passes. It was just too structured. So since Quique Setien took over Barcelona, for those that don't know, Setien sort of plays that total football, like with short passing and then positional play and all that. That's similar to Sarri at Juventus. So since Setien took charge, Arthur's performances have been really, really good when he's played, and his expected goals and expected assists have both increased quite a lot since Setien's been in charge. So that's quite positive news for us as Juve fans because he's coming to a similar system.
If you look at the heat map, so then I can close it down again. Is that more where he plays with Valverde or more with Setien or both trainers?
So basically, he's sort of been able to under Setien because of the whole positional play. You know, they sort of move around more and there's just more movement. So he's playing sort of more central and drifting around under Kike. But under Valverde, he was very favoring the left-hand side of the field in midfield, which he still performed well. But if anything, he's naturally much more comfortable on the right-hand side of midfield. So when we look at his numbers, he's still putting up good numbers playing in a position which isn't maybe as comfortable to him as a different one.
91% is absolutely crazy in passes.
That's like Xavi. That's Xavi. That's Xavi numbers.
And when you see 91% of success in passes, you said that Valverde was limiting his creativity. That's what you said. It's a bit difficult for me to explain and to go through it, but in Italy, especially in Serie A, the creativity in the midfield is not always there. I remember Pirlo as a magician, but he was playing playmaker, and we will go through that later. But do you think that he will also be limited in his creativity at Juve, or do you think that yes, he can go there and he can show his creativity?
So if you asked me under any manager except Maurizio Sarri whether he'd be limited, I'd say yes. But with Sarri as manager, playing that total football system with the whole positional play and all that, I think he'll have a really good chance to show that creativity, because that's what we haven't had in midfield this year. Pjanic hasn't performed to his level. Ramsey's not much of a creator. We don't really have that in midfield, so I think that's really why we are signing him, because we want that creativity. We need a midfielder who can play passes over the top, play those through balls, dribble and open up angles. That's what we really, really need. So I think Arthur's one of the best signings for us for that in that sense.
You just talk about his dribbling skills, and that's a word, as I said, it's a long time ago. I didn't hear that word again, dribbling skills at Juventus. Is it really that good in dribbling?
Yeah, man, he's really, really good. So I think I've got the stats somewhere here on my phone, or have you got them as well? His dribbling stats.
I don't have here the dribbling stats. I know that in the last third, he was quite good, and he had, I believe, 82% out of memory. 82.7%.
83.1. 83.1.
83.1 in dribbling successes. That's good. Yeah. That's really good.
Really good.
And that's why, you said passes are really good with the 92% or 91%. Long passes are also good, because 2.3 balls per game it's really good. And then you have the dribbling skills. Those are his best skills, his strength, according to you?
Yeah, for me, I'd say his top 3 skills, you could say: passing, dribbling, and vision, understanding of the game, that football IQ. He understands the game very well and positions himself really well in both attack and defense.
Let's speak before, because I really want to speak about the position, because now we see that he played a lot of time on the left at Barcelona. But before going there, we spoke about the strengths. Let's speak about his weaknesses. What are they?
So he's quite poor in the air. Like, he's not like your Milinkovic-Savic, who can play as a target man if you want him for Lazio. Like, he's not a guy that's going to dominate in the air. But you could say that's a weakness, but in the system, how many long balls or like lofted passes have we seen this season from Juventus? Not that many. We play out at the back. We play low for the most part. There's not much time the ball's in the air. So although that's a weakness, I don't really think it's going to be like a significant weakness in our system. So it is a weakness, but I'm personally not too concerned about that. And then on a defensive side, you could say his tackling is a bit of a weakness. He doesn't really have the best tackle technique, doesn't make a lot of tackles. But in saying that, that's where his positional awareness comes in very important, because he makes like 2-point-something intercepts per game when playing in defensive midfield.
2.4 interception per game and 0.6 tackles.
Yeah. So you can see he relies more on the intercepts to get the ball back than making a tackle.
So his defensive skills are more on positioning than really aggressivity.
Yeah,
do I understand it well?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely that. It's definitely that. He's not like Thomas Partey at Atleti, who's going to make a lot of tackles, or like someone like that.
I have it's not a question. I think it's a remark, but can you confirm Arthur is playing vertical, which is the way that Sarri like?
Yeah, he does. He definitely so often they have him pick the ball up, run forward, play a pass, and then he uses that IQ he has to make a run in as well, which is obviously very dangerous. And with a player like Cristiano playing for us or Dybala, who are really good coming in, taking shots, him creating that space for either a run in or opening space up for those players to take a shot, that's, I don't need to really explain that. Everyone knows that that's going to be great for us.
Let's cover something that some fans are also, talking about, and I think it's something that we have to show. I don't know if it will be too small on the screen or not. Let's try. But here you have actually the stats of since 17-18, where he was playing at the Grêmio until then, all the season at Barcelona, where he was injured. Is it something that we have to be pessimistic on? Because we have Khedira, we have Ramsey as a crystal clear player, we have De Chilio, we have so many injured players. I know we have J Medical, and that's nice to have, but at least we can use it, the better for me. So is it something that we have to pay attention to? Or
see, if you look on that list, almost all of his muscular injuries, apart from the Achilles tendon, came in his first season in La Liga. So they came in 2018-19. So he's come from the Brazilian league into La Liga, which is very fast. Obviously, with your body not being fully adapted to that speed, fatigue, etc., muscular issues will happen. It's life. It's how the body works. So I think that's not as much of an issue as people might make it seem, and that understandable. If it happened again in the second season, I'd agree. But if you look at the second season, most of the injuries are just knocks. They're contact injuries, which is just bad luck. It's just bad luck. Someone put in a bad challenge or he took a hit. Most of those are just bad luck. So I wouldn't say he's injury prone.
And also, if you see the games that were missed, it's like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 times 7. Yeah, okay, because it was Pubides, and then again 1. So for me also, I think this is something, I really wanted to show it, and I'm really happy that you confirm, because for me it's okay. Pay attention for sure. All players, we have to pay attention, but you gave a really good explanation of changing the from Brazil to Spain. It's something totally different, so it can happen, and it's not really crazy. We have Pedro who joined. Ciao, Pedro. Enjoy your beer. Yeah, it's the temperature to do it. I don't know from where you come, Pedro, but indeed, enjoy the beer if you can. I will try to see also the other question a bit later, guys, but I wanted to continue on that, because now we will speak about position of our friend Arthur. And sometimes I switch. I'm in the portrait mode or in landscape, so let's do it like that. But there is a big confusion. You spoke about Barcelona being using at the left side. At Grêmio, he played as a playmaker, but, and correct me if I'm wrong, today we have a big problem on the right, and we have it with Bentancur, who is filling that position, but we saw also Bentancur playing really well as a playmaker. So where should he play?
See, it's tough, and I can't give you an answer, and that's almost a good thing, because he could be so good in two positions. That's the thing for us, so it's definitely a good thing. But there's pros and cons to either one. So I've seen a lot of talk that he might get used as a defensive midfielder, like he played in Grêmio, so as in that sort of Jorginho role for Sarri. And that would definitely work, because his passing numbers are ridiculous. So we could have him recycling all the possession, transitioning us, dictating the tempo, and he'd do a great job. He's phenomenal in doing that. Like, his skill set's great. But then at the same time, I love Bentancur, one of my favorite players in the team at the moment. But Arthur is just that little level up at the moment, especially in terms of, I think, creativity and sort of that ability to dribble past players and open up angles, open up space. And considering how important a goal-scoring midfielder is in a Maurizio Sarri system, remember Marek Hamšík when he was at Napoli, he was one of the most important players in the team. So I don't think Arthur can be that player that'll hit 15 goals a season or anything like that. But in terms of creating opportunities and being a chance creator for us, I think he would do a great job. And that's really what we need right now, especially if we're not signing anybody else. So it's a tough one, man. But at the moment, I think Bentancur showed he can play really good in that defensive midfield position. Played really good.
His favorite position, huh?
Yeah. So for me personally, I think they'll decide it in the preseason. They'll try both and see which one's more balanced for the team, especially with Kulusevski coming. He can play in that midfield Kevin De Bruyne role.
I just received that question from Muhammad. Ciao, Muhammad. He's saying Bentancur, Arthur, Kulusevski. Before you answering, Kulusevski said his favorite position is playing as a trequartista, just behind the strikers. We saw him a lot with Parma playing as attacking, as a Bernardeschi role, at least where he should play on the right in the attack. A lot of people are saying, yes, we see him also as a midfielder, I would pay attention to changing roles every single time we have a player. Give the players, their favorite roles where they are really good at. Is Bentancur, Arthur, Kulusevski a good midfielder, or is it just something we can use from time to time?
I like it. I personally like it. I think Bentancur is underrated defensively. I think he's defensively a lot better than what people give him credit for.
Oh, yeah.
That's mainly because he just started off as sort of like a offensive-minded central midfielder. And then, he basically turned into a 6 or a defensive midfielder all of a sudden. Everyone was like, huh? Like, he surprised all of us with how well he played there. So I think Bentancur can play as a 6 really well. Arthur can play on the right and be that midfielder that takes the ball from the central third of the pitch into that final third really well. And then Kulusevski, like I said, when we signed him, I said he reminds me a lot of Kevin De Bruyne, just left-footed. Like, he's a more mobile Kevin De Bruyne. Obviously, his technical ability isn't at the level of De Bruyne yet, but remember, Kulusevski's only 20. So he's got a lot of time to improve, and he's been phenomenal this year. So I would quite like that, to see that happen at the start of next season, especially if we don't sign someone like Hassem Ouar from Lyon or like Milinkovic-Savic or some deluxe midfielder like that. If we were to go with just the midfield options we have now, including Arthur, that would be the midfield I would go with as well.
But that means that we will use also Arthur on the left, with Kulusevski on the right and Bentancur as a reducer.
I think we could actually use Kulusevski on the left, because do you remember when at Chelsea, Sarri had the midfield 3 and Kovacic played as the left central midfielder? So it was Jorginho playing as the defensive midfielder, N'Golo Kante playing that right central midfielder role. And if you look at Kante that season, he was very involved even in attack, and that's not his normal strength. But he was the one that sort of pushed the ball up into the final third. He's not great at that, though, but Sarri persisted with it. Arthur would be phenomenal in that position. And then Kulusevski can play that left midfielder that pushes into the final third.
I kind of disagree with you. You are the expert. I'm not. But you forget one man on the left, and that's Ronaldo. Do you think Kulusevski, who is actually an offensive player, he can do the role of Matuidi, covering the back of Ronaldo? Or maybe you're even explaining me that both on the left side, Kulusevski, offensive, and our friend Ronaldo can play together on the left.
See, I think that with Cristiano, I think we'll sort of see him move a little bit more further inside the pitch in a sort of role he played at Real Madrid. I think him and Sarri had that conversation after the Coppa Italia final where Ronaldo basically said, I'm not playing in my comfortable position. I want to start on the left, drift in, and then move centrally rather than just start and stay central. But with Cristiano, I think you can get the defensive coverage in, because if you look at Bentancur, Arthur, and Kulusevski, all three of them are very mobile. So there's definitely room for each one to cover sorts of channels. But the issue is a midfield like that, it's difficult in a Champions League game, like say a team like Liverpool that has a midfield that just runs so much. So that's where I would like to see Juventus sign someone like Thomas Partey or someone like that, like a destroying defensive midfielder who we don't necessarily need to use when we're dominating games, but in big games, we can play him. Like remember Juve Atleti, the home game, Emre Can, when he dropped deep and covered the defense and Cancelo pushed up. I really think we need someone like that in the team for those big Champions League games.
I said yesterday to Romeo Agresti, I don't know if you know him, he's a sport journalist. I said to him, Partey on the left, that was my idea, because he's the young Matuidi with feet, you know?
Yeah.
That's Thomas Partey. Then you have Bentancur as a regista, and on the right, Arthur. And he said to me, it's a beautiful midfield, but you will never win nothing with that midfield. Are you agree or not with that idea of Romeo Agresti, the Mercato guru?
See, I think it would be a good midfield in away games in Champions Leagues where we can't dominate teams. Like when we can't, because remember Fernandinho for Manchester City, how important he was when he was playing there for Guardiola. In those big games, it's very important to have a defensive midfielder who can cover space, defend well, and tackle hard. It's critical if you want to win the Champions League. Every team that's won the Champions League recently has had one. Casemiro, Fabinho, take whoever you want. But in the league where 99% of games will probably dominate the game, control the game, Arthur, Kulusevski, and Bentancur works. But if we're playing Liverpool at Anfield in the Champions League, that's not going to work.
I see also a comment from Jamal who's saying the best thing from our squad is that management had finally rejuvenate the team, starting with De Ligt, Bentancur, Kulusevski, Demiral, Arthur, Romero, even if I believe we will never have him back at Juventus. But that's a profit signing that you do. But even Dybala is young, so that's good. I think it's really good, and it was time. It was time. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but absolutely, Jamal, you're correct about that. Now, something else, because we have 3 players. Kulusevski, we have Bentancur, we have Arthur. They can play in all positions, except Kulusevski is a bit more offensive, so he will not be a playmaker, but they are quite flexible. But we still miss one. Who will be really compatible with Bentancur and Arthur to playing there? If you would have I will ask you the question twice. One, realistic with normal money, and then the other one, the dream. What would that be?
I'll give you the normal one first.
Yeah.
The normal one, I would go with Hassem Aour from Lyon. Available for supposedly around 40 million.
He's playing on the left or right? I don't, because I know he's a great player, but I'm not really focused on him at the moment.
He can play both. He can play both very well. He's a very balanced midfielder. I'm a huge fan. He's available for apparently only 40 million, which is nothing for a top quality midfielder. And Lyon really want Matuidi as well, so we could probably lower the price quite a lot by offering them Matuidi, and then maybe Matuidi, who's maybe what would you say, 25 million, 20 million?
20 million value, yeah.
Yeah, so we can get him for what? Matuidi, a depreciating asset who's only going down in ability and price. It's just the way it is. He's getting old. For somebody that's young and great and is only going to go up in value and in ability. So that makes sense to me. Alas, the Lyon president, said he would like to see Hassem play for Juventus. He said that Hassem would like to play in Italy. So
my friend Jean-Michel Aulas is always saying that he wants to give us all the player of the world. Yeah. And at the end, who did we see? We see Boumsong and Thiago. That's it. We never saw all the other players. We had so much like, how is it called? The one that at the end went to Bayern Munich, Tolisso. There were so many players linked to us. And at the end, before, let's. Before,
I'll give you my dream one now. I'll give you my dream.
Before that one, because I really wanted to shoot out Owen. Owen is every time writing super cool comments on my channel with great dedicated football questions. So thank you, Owen. Really, I'm really happy that I have you in the subscribers. So the people that didn't subscribe yet, do it now. But that's why I want to read the question of Owen. Owen is saying, Ciao Giuseppe, another midfield signing is necessary. That's also what I believe. My favorite would be Zaniolo. Moreover, Sarri sees Bernardeschi's future role in the midfield. What do you think about that question, Gareth?
I'll answer the Bernardeschi part. I think I tweeted, if you go back to my tweets, when Maurizio Sarri took over, one of the first things I tweeted was I think he'll transition Bernardeschi into a mezzala. So in that sort of attacking midfielder role. But yeah, I think I completely agree with that. I don't think he's really shown much on the wings or really attacking. The thing is, he's got really good technical ability, but not much end product so far from what we've seen. So obviously, if you can use that technical ability, you remember him against Atleti, he was one of the best players in the field.
You were there.
Yeah, I was watching it going, who's this? But yeah, man, so I'd like to see him in the midfield, especially in that Mazzala position. But signing Kulusevski, I think that pretty much Kulusevski's just going to probably play in a similar position, and I think he's just a little bit better. So tough to see Bernardeschi staying at Juventus. As a squad player, I think he can. If he wants to be a starter, I don't think he'll ever be a starting midfielder for us. And on Zaniolo, I'm a huge fan. He's a great player. I think he's a Juventus fan. I saw some tweets of him supporting Juventus when he was younger. So I think he's a Juve fan as well.
Yeah.
But with Zaniolo, I still think left-footed attacking midfielder. We just signed Kulusevski. What's the point of signing similar sort of players? Like, yes, he's great, young, Italian, but we just signed Kulusevski. So I'd rather get someone of a profile we don't have and make the squad a little bit more diverse and balanced. You look at Manchester City, one of the best squads in Europe. That squad is just so balanced. You have destroyers like Fernandinho, then you have Rodri, then you have De Bruyne, David Silva, Bernardo Silva. Like, I'd like to see our midfield be built that way. So I really think we should either, if we're not signing someone of an attacking-minded central midfielder like Hassem Ouar or someone like that, I'd like to see us sign a defensive midfielder. So someone like Partey or someone like that, yeah.
Tell me about your dream.
My dream, Lazio, the star from Lazio, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. I love that guy, man. I love that guy.
He's really good.
I love that guy, man. And what I like about him is last season, everyone said his performance dropped and, one season wonder, blah, blah, blah. He still won Serie A Midfielder of the Year. But the thing is, that season, Lazio's midfield wasn't as good as it is this year. He had to play more defensive than what he did the year before. So obviously his attacking numbers aren't going to be as good. He's playing deeper. He's defending more. But the fact that he still performed very well in a defensive position, which he didn't play much in before, really tells me, like, this guy is so good. His passes are great. He's big. He's strong. He wins aerial duels for fun. He has goals in him. Did you see the goal he scored the other day? And then he can also defend. So he's so balanced. But there's no chance Lotito ever sells him to us. It's just not going to happen.
I have to address something publicly. So my friend Daniel is saying, Giuseppe, my man, you're always saying that Boom Song came from Lyon, but we never had it from Lyon. And it's true. I always said that because I was sure about it. But actually, it's true. He came from Newcastle, and we gave him to Lyon. So, Daniel, thank you for telling me, and I will never, never, ever say that again. Thank you for correcting me. That's cool, because I keep saying that every time. It's not true. It was Thiago, and I'm sure it was another crap player. I don't remember which one, but I will never say that again. I have a question about him. I created a special hashtag from him because Pogba is already used when he went back to Manchester United. So I launched the Pogba again. Tell me, would that be the perfect? Because Milinkovic-Savic, in terms of Mercato, he just signed, even if it's not publicly announced, but he's already done his extension with Lazio. So I have not really a lot of hopes for your dream. But what about my dream?
Pogba, would I like to see it? Is the sky blue? Yes. Obviously, there's not one Juventus fan who wouldn't like to see Pogba back. He was great for us, and he's one of the best central midfielders in the world. But the problem with Pogba is, good luck getting Manchester United to sell him. And if you asked me a year ago, I'd say he's definitely leaving United. But they've made some good signings, and they look to have another good market this year. If they can qualify for one of those Champions League positions, I think they'll have a big market, and that team will really improve. So I don't see Pogba leaving United anymore. I have a feeling he might stay. But in the case that he decides not to stay, I think we could definitely make an offer. We'd be pushing probably 90 million again. We'd probably pay what we sold him for, because obviously COVID prices have depreciated. Footballers are cheaper. He doesn't have that long on his contract left. But I think I'd give it like a 20% chance of happening. I'd say 20%. Very, very difficult deal to make happen. I think the club will want to make it happen. If there's any possibility, they'll try and make it happen. Hypothetically speaking, if we can get him back, that's a great signing. He's a great player. He's well-rounded, incredible ability. Can you imagine his passes to Dybala or to Ronaldo? Like, incredible. So I'd love to see that happen, but in my opinion, I don't think it will.
We had a question from Bruno, was saying Kulusevski over healthy Ramsey, and we can quickly answer that one. But also, it's Ramsey is someone that we didn't speak about. Actually, if we speak about a midfield, about Bentancur, left Arthur, on the right Ramsey, healthy, would that be a good midfield for next season?
I really like that. I'm a huge Aaron Ramsey fan. I've said when he's fit, he's one of the best in the world at what he does. He makes great runs into the box. Arsenal, in his last season at Arsenal, they were third at one point and winning in the Europa League. They were beating Napoli and everyone. Ramsey got injured and they won one game out of their last 8. Ramsey is a very, very, very good midfielder. But the issue with Ramsey is you can't rely on him. You can't rely on Ramsey to play 80, 90% of games in a season. He's just shown that his hamstrings and his muscles just don't last. And the problem is, the more you injure them, the more likely it's going to reoccur. So a fit, healthy Ramsey, I think, should be starting for us. He's been really good for us in some games as well. Against Inter, just before the season got shut down, he was great. But my problem with Ramsey is I just don't think he can maintain fitness.
That's a big problem. Garrett, before because Ermias is also saying he has 1 year left of contract of Pogba, so or he extend, or it's better actually that they sell him.
I'll answer that quickly. I've heard that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is quite a big Aaron Ramsey fan. He likes Aaron Ramsey and what he brings to a midfield. So I definitely do think it is possible if United decide they're going to sell Pogba, I think we have a higher chance of signing him than what Real Madrid have. And I think he'd rather come to us, because that Real Madrid midfield, honestly, Pogba is great, but that midfield's already stacked. That midfield is already stacked. So unless someone like a Toni Kroos leaves, I don't know. And but yeah, I definitely think we could offer Ramsey plus money for him.
I have a few more questions, and then we can round up with the prediction for Juve Lecce later. But a few more questions, because in my opinion, we did a mistake last year where we were extending some contracts of typical Allegri players like Mandzukic, Khedira. We did it. We extended. We gave more money. Emre Can was also there for him. We also were trying to buy players like Rabiot, for example, more for Allegri than for Sarri. And now we are signing Arthur, okay, who is a typical Sarri player. You explained it well. You say that he's a really versatile player with the skills for the people that join meanwhile. Really good in passes, in dribbles, long passes. You know, it's a really strong player that Juventus has to have. It will be an upgrade. So that's a bit the recap. A bit less good in defensive style, especially when he's good when he's pressed from players, but he's a bit less aggressive. So he's good in possession. But now, if Sarri is sacked at the end of the season, and we take coaches like two total different coaches, but Zidane or Guardiola and the two dreams of the Juve fans. Will Archer still be a fit for Juventus, or it will start to be complicated?
I think Arthur is a good fit for pretty much any midfield that needs any creative midfielder. So I don't think, and I still think he'd be very good for us regardless, especially under systems like Zidane. You remember how good Luka Modric was, sort of doing that whole dribbling and creating sort of role. So Arthur can play that role really well. The Toni Kroos role as well, with the passing and dictating the play. So that works in a Zidane system. In a Guardiola system, it's similar to a Sarri system, positional play, possession-based football. So he'd be great in that as well. But for me personally, and as you would probably know as well, Juventus have been very big on building the commercial side, the Juventus brand. We've changed the logo. Here it is. We've done everything like to build that brand. Even the shirt, we got rid of the stripes to sell more shirts in America. So we're really going big on our branding and making Juventus a huge brand. In doing that, playing attacking football, playing nice football goes a long way. People want to watch the games. They want to watch us score 4 or 5 goals and beat everybody. Juventus fans, we just like winning. But football fans, they want to watch nice football. They don't want to watch us park the bus and score 1 goal on a counter-attack and go, right, that's it, good win. We love that. We go, yes, we won. But people that aren't Juve fans, they won't be attracted to it when you've got Manchester City or all those teams dominating. So I think my theory, and I want to get people's opinion on this, Juventus signed Sarri on a 2-year contract. His contract expires when Guardiola's contract expires at Manchester City. I think they introduced Sarri to introduce the squad to that attacking football, that positional play, bring in some players that suit that system, sort of start developing the club in that direction. Because for so long we played that grinta, that fighting football under Conte, under Allegri. We were very defensive. We were very good defensively, and we'd score a few goals here and there. But now we're really trying to dominate possession and play exciting football. I think the whole plan has been get Sarri, 2 years, see what he can do. We'll likely win the league. If we win in Europe, that's a bonus. Sarri won the Europa League, so that's a credit to him. And then I really think we'll see Pep Guardiola join Juventus when his contract expires. Or if Manchester City are banned from the Champions League next season, which is a strong possibility. City just lost the league. They weren't very competitive in the league. They lost it with 7 games to go. If they get knocked out early in Europe quarterfinals or in the round of 16, I think Pep might just go at the end of this season. And Sarri, I think if he wins the league but doesn't do too well in Europe, if we don't beat Lyon or if we get beaten in the quarters, his job's on the line, because Juventus fans, some like him, but a lot don't like him. And I think the players, I don't think he has the best relationship with the squad. He's had a lot of conflicts with Cristiano at times, with Pjanic, with Emre Can. He had the problems. So he's had problems with a lot of players. So I think if Pep Guardiola becomes available, I think Juventus will sign Pep Guardiola this summer. If not, I think Juventus will sign Pep Guardiola next summer, because Juventus want to do it. Pep wants it. He said he wants to coach in Italy. Obviously, he's going to join the best team in Italy. So, yeah, that's my theory. What's your thoughts on that?
But first, I want to say that Jeff, he's saying 100% on Pep theory. I'm convinced that was the plan all along. Then we have Topi that joined. Ciao, Topi. Before answering that, also I wanted to read the lineups for in 1 hour actually. So we have actually the same that I was explaining yesterday with Mo El Tactico. We're saying Chesney in the goal, Quadrado, De Ligt, Bonucci, Matt with D on the left. Then we have Bentancur, Pjanic, and Rabiot. Where in the attack we have Bernardeschi, Dybala, Ronaldo. You know, for me the good thing is now we have Ramsey on the bench with Douglas Costa. So that, and Higuain is also back on the bench. So we have a bit more options there. So that's good. Curious to see that. And to answer your question about Sarri, yes, or Sarri no, Pep yes, Pep no. I always believed, like Jeff is saying, in a Guardiola plan. 100%. I think it was a done deal, but Qatar is it's really difficult to negotiate with them. Their owners, they have so many, especially, I'm not all of them for sure, I'm not generalizing it, but I'm speaking about the owners of Paris Saint-Germain or Manchester United, like the Verratti story. I always, compare with Verratti. He really wanted to go away to, was it Barcelona or Real? I don't remember.
Barcelona,
Barcelona.
yeah, yeah.
He really wanted, he publicly said it and blah blah blah. And then they said, no, you will not go for whatever price in the world, we don't do it. The next summer, they went to Barcelona, they paid the clothes of Neymar just because, they
Yeah.
had the money, they do it. And I think that's also the thing with Pep Guardiola. He wanted to go, but they didn't want to. Point. That's it. And you can do whatever you want, you can't. So that's one thing that I believe. And a lot of people like Momblano, for example, journalist, he took a lot of criticism about that because he failed in saying the truth. I believe in mercato is something moving. There are so many things that can influence a yes or a no, and then you have people that explain the rumors and then people that wait and just give the officiality. I really believe it was the plan. And why? Because you have a small little thing here on your heart. That's the new logo of Juventus. You said a lot of time, Juventus has chosen a way to go for branding because that's what you have to do today to survive. We are
Yeah.
also saying yes, but today they are not looking at the history and so on. It's not true. But their new hashtag live ahead explain it really well. We just launched a new site, digital first, live ahead, customer centric are the words that they are using. They were winning so hard with that, man. Let me show you. Year after year after year with that man, Massimo Allegri. If they took a decision to change also trainer, it's because what you were explaining. Okay, we attracted so many fans from all over the world that are Ronaldo fans or
Yep.
curious fans. So you have so much more exposure, and then you show boring football, winning football, but boring football. Young generation that are used to 60 FPS Fortnite games, crazy, Call of Duty and so on. They like fast things. It has to be like that. My son is not a football fan, but he was watching Atalanta versus Lazio. He was going crazy. He said, "Oh, that's a really beautiful game." So that was the decision to take Guardiola. I'm sure about it because he's a brand that you buy, like Cristiano Ronaldo, like Paul Pogba. Didn't happen, and that's okay. That's fine. And that's why they took Sarri to kind of having a preparation for Guardiola. That's so I totally agree with you and with our friend.
Remember Pochettino said he might leave Tottenham at the end of last season after the Champions League final. I don't know if you saw, Pochettino's brother was on a podcast or in an interview somewhere in Argentina, I think, and he was talking about how Maurizio Pochettino obviously has some Italian heritage and how he would love to coach in Italy, and he was basically advertising for the Juventus job. If Juventus gave Pochettino that job, Pochettino would have been the manager. And I just think Pochettino is a great coach. He's a great manager. He's great. But the fact that we didn't sign Maurizio Pochettino, who was willing to join us, from what I gathered, tells a lot that we were building towards something very specific. You don't say no to Pochettino for Maurizio Sarri. You say no to Pochettino for Pep Guardiola.
Absolutely, yes.
That's the bigger picture.
I have 3 questions, and then we close the live because we said 30 minutes, and we are here by 54 minutes because it's so fun. One question is about Juve FC, and then I have 2 questions. So the first one is, without going into really long explanation, do you think that Agnelli made a mistake as not taking Conte back?
I wanted Antonio Conte. I wanted Conte last summer. I had him as my profile picture on my Twitter account. I quickly deleted that when he joined Inter. I love Conte. I really do. I wanted him back. He was great for us. But then I thought about it. We should be winning the league. With our team, Inter's improving, Lazio's improving, Atalanta's a good side, but we're the cream of the crop. We should be winning the league. If we're focusing on winning European competitions, if we're focusing on winning the Champions League, which we are, that's why we signed Cristiano, that's why we signed De Ligt, that's why we're signing these players to win the Champions League. I don't think Antonio Conte is the manager to win us the Champions League. I really don't think. He's got a very poor record in knockout competitions. I don't think he's ever won one. I don't think he's ever won a knockout competition. This season as well, out in the group stage in the Champions League. Didn't really do much with Chelsea in the Champions League. So when I thought about it, I don't think Agnelli made a mistake by not hiring Conte. I think he would have helped us win the league, and we probably would have done better in the league so far. But I definitely think leaning towards that more possession-orientated football, dominating games, is going to help us in the long term in winning that Champions League title. So if I could have Conte or Sarri, Conte. 100% Conte. I'm not going to lie to you. But in the long term, with what I think the club are trying to do, I'm happy we didn't go for Antonio Conte.
The two last questions before I wanted to answer Hermias, because he was saying, who is Gianluca Di Marzio? Gianluca Di Marzio is we call it a journalist, Mercato guru, is an expert in Mercato, and is also the one that really changed the way of reporting news, of analyzing news of Mercato, how you follow and so on. So he's really someone that is looked up by all the journalists in the world, because he changed the way of reporting Mercato. So that's Gianluca Di Marzio. He's also the father of the other Di Marzio, the son of the other Di Marzio, who was really linked with Napoli. He was in the Napoli time. I think he was even a trainer or something like that in the past. So that's Gianluca Di Marzio. So my two last questions are, first, because it was an Arthur special, who can we compare Arthur to a next Juve player? Do you have someone in mind?
An ex-Juve player, let me think. Let's use a recent player. Let's say last 10 years, because many people probably didn't watch before that. Maybe some did, but I would say he's got some of the silkiness that Pirlo had. You know, that real on the ball, just calm, can play those nice passes, can dictate the tempo, a real sort of sense of elegance to him. If I was to compare him to any player, I would say Xavi, like Adam just said. Him and Xavi, very, very similar. Very similar.
Ignacio is a reporter, he's doing the same as Romeo Agresti. He's reporting everything. He's following Barcelona since ever. And he said also today in a podcast I was listening that, yes, he would compare also to Xavi. So absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah?
I would say Xavi.
And then, because we are nearly at 1 hour and we are like 45 minutes from the game, prediction for tonight, Juve Lecce?
Just on the lineup, I was surprised. I didn't think we'd play Cristiano. I thought we'd rest a few players, but good to see we're playing everyone. I'm going to say 3-0, Juve. 3-0. Cristiano to score 2, Bernardeschi to score 1.
Oh, that would be beautiful. Bernardeschi with a goal. Adam is saying 6-1. That's heavy. I don't remember the last time of a 6-1 of Juve. That was probably versus Milan in the 90s, but that would be beautiful. Ali is saying Pirlo after Pep can be someone great for Juve. I think he has still a Juve. Absolutely, yes. That's for sure. So, guys, thank you. I will leave you before I do the final closing and I say hello to all the people that were in the chat. Go for it. Do your salute, Garrett.
Oh, thanks for having me on, man. It's been a pleasure. Good chat. Nice to talk about Juventus, about Arthur. So, yeah, thanks for having me on, and thanks everyone for the questions and for tuning in. Sometimes it gets annoying listening to two guys talk about football, so we appreciate all of you guys sticking with us and tuning in.
So before saying hello to you and thank you to you, I want to say hello and thank you to the people in the chat, because we were with a lot of people today and really active in the chat. It was not always easy to follow. I hope you liked it, because before signing him, I really wanted to give you some insight about Arthur the player. I believe we can say that yes, he is a good player for Juventus. You convinced me. I was already convinced, but you convinced me even more. So thank you, Jeff, for being here. Ali, Marco, Animesh, Topi. We have Steph from Bianconeri YYZ. We have Adam, Marco. We have so many people. For the first time ever, I believe I cannot say hello to everyone. So thank you for the trust. That's amazing. Guys, for the new people and for people who are still there, I do a lot of Juventus stuff every day in, day out, with the papers in the morning, and then I do a lot of other things. I will probably jump in later for a halftime reaction. Let's see if I still can talk after this live, and if it's okay. So you will see it pop up. But thank you for joining, guys. And most important, Gareth, you were amazing on the chat. I had an amazing time together with you. I hope we can do it again in the future. You are really welcome, because it was fun. So thank you, guys. Subscribe here. Some people were asking what was your YouTube channel. I don't believe you have a YouTube channel.
I don't have a YouTube. I'm just on Twitter.
But on Twitter, you can follow him here. Thank you all. And Forza Juve. I hope we win. Thank you. Ciao.
Let's get it. Thanks, man.